As well as being the first smart ring to provide sleep apnea monitoring, the RingConn Gen 2 offers 12 days of battery life, IP68 water resistance, and AI-powered sleep and health tracking, all in this comfortable and lightweight form factor. So hit subscribe now and we'll check out what this thing can do. So this is the RingConn Gen 2, and I've already been a user of the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 Air. And for me, I'm a big fan of its long battery life, its comfort, which means I can wear it most of the time without even realizing, and finally, the lack of any sort of display, which means it's not constantly trying to get me to look at my phone, and instead it's doing what it should be doing, and of course, that's tracking my health. And best of all, there's currently a 20% off promotion for Prime Day. Now, it's made of aerospace-grade titanium, which means it's not only strong, but also fairly lightweight, coming in at 2 to 3 grams. And as you can see, despite me wearing this for a couple of weeks, it still has a nice shiny finish to it without any scratches. Now, mine is the future silver color here, but it's also available in royal gold, matte black, and even a rose gold. It features an ergonomic design with a rounded inside and then a squared off outside, and it's going to track your heart rate variability, your blood oxygen, it will count your steps, sleep time, respiratory rate, and more. Now, when ordering your RingConn Gen 2, you've also got the option to get a free sizing kit, and I highly recommend you do this to get the best fit for you. You can choose from 9 different sizes, and it's also recommended to wear these sizing kits overnight, as your finger can fluctuate in size throughout the day. But once you've got your size picked out, all you need to do is head to the website, pick your color, and place the order. The ring then arrives in this packaging, and if we go ahead and open it up, you can see we first got the ring itself, followed by the manuals and the documentation. Then underneath that, we've got the charging case along with the USB-C cable. Now, the great thing about the charging case is that, of course, it has its own battery with a fully charged battery case that gives you up to 150 days worth of charge, with the ring itself lasting up to 12 days on a single charge, so great if you were to go traveling somewhere where power is limited. Now, to place the ring on your finger, in my testing it's worked at any angle, but it is recommended to place with a flat bit on the bottom of your finger for the best accuracy, and I have to say, as someone that doesn't actually wear rings normally, it is really comfortable to wear. Now, I generally keep it on my left index finger, but depending on what task I'm doing, sometimes I might move it over to the other hand or even switch it to my middle finger, and you can see on the flat bit on the bottom where the sensors are. Now, of course, with no screen to provide information, everything is displayed via their application, and this connects via Bluetooth, and it seems it's not connected all of the time and instead uploading data periodically to save on battery life, but the app itself is nicely laid out. It's easy and intuitive to use from the get-go, and it's one of those that from the minute you open the app, it's pretty easy to find everything that you need. Now, one of my favorite things though is that it's completely free. It gives me all of the metrics I need all in one place, and it's not constantly trying to push a Plus or a Pro version on me. It's just an app with no paid plans. So if we start with the insight screen, as it's probably the most useful, we've got the top graph that gives you all of the information on relaxation status, sleep, vitals, and your activity. And you can also switch between these two styles of graphs. Under sleep, you can see it tells me the time of sleep. It gives me a sleep score and even comments on it, like here it says, please pay attention to time of sleep, where I only managed to get 5 hours 45 minutes. Now, if we press on that, it gives me the sleep score again with some more information on what I can improve on, what the impacts of my bad sleep could be, and even gives me possible reasons for low sleep and suggestions. Now, further down the page, we've got more information like time of sleep, time in bed, and sleep efficiency. Then further down that, I've got a full broken down analysis of the sleep stages and how long I was spending in each one. Then following that, we've got my heart rate through the sleep, my HRV, my SpO2, we've got my skin temperature, and my respiratory rate. Now, it also has a section for naps, although I tend not to nap myself. And then finally, we've got the sleep summary at the bottom. Now, with all these detailed pages, we can also switch between days on the top bar, and there's also a separate section in the app to trend this data over days, weeks, months, or years, but we're going to be covering that shortly. Now, the next section is where we've got our activity, and this shows your steps, calories, and time along with the ring on the right hand side, and it also gives you comments, like here it says I was inactive today, and again, if I press into that, you can see I get the ring with the detail below it. Next, I've got step analysis with total steps and the graph. We've got activity calories along with the graph, all day calories including basal metabolism, and activity calories along with the graph. We've then got a standing time, an activity intensity graph, an activity intensity ratio, exercise record, and then the activity summary at the bottom. Now for stress, it shows the average stress as well as a comment. And again, if we go into that, we've got the overview at the top with the daily average HRV as well as a 30-day average and also a stress index. We've got a graph of the all-day stress index, a stress ratio breakdown, sleeping stress, and then a stress summary at the bottom. Now personally, I tend not to get too stressed, or at least I don't feel stressed, and every day the Ring is showing me that with the comment peace and joy every day. Now for vital signs, we get the BPM and percentage, and if we go into that, we've got the vital status, which also shows significant and minor outliers if there are any. We've also got our heart rate graphed over the day, SpO2 graph throughout the day, along with an average and a range at the bottom. Now HRV is graphed through the day along with the average and the range, skin temperature that shows us the average, baseline, and offset. And then finally, we've got respiratory rate and BPM with average, range, and a 7-day average. Next on this page, we've got exercises where we can manually start one of the exercises shown here to log it. We've also got an edit function at the bottom, which lets you enable or disable any of these cards from the screen, and it also lets you set the order to your preference. Now next up, we've got the sleep apnea monitoring section, and if you read the instructions, it recommends that you ensure the Ring is about 30% battery or more. You then enable it before going to sleep and then sync up the data when you wake up. And it's also recommended to wear this on your index finger when you're doing the sleep apnea detection. And I assume it's because a lot more monitoring is happening here. And if you've got sleep apnea, you're only going to need to do this for the 3 times it requires. It's then going to list all of your apnea events, and then if you do get some or many, then you probably want to go and consult with your healthcare professional or GP to find out if any treatment is going to be needed. Then the next section in the app is the AI health plan, and if you press this, it takes you through a series of questions to develop a plan for you, such as how long you sleep and what time you go to bed. It goes through exercises, and it also asks you what kind of exercises you actually want to do or physically can do, rather than just telling you to do certain ones. And then it even goes through your stress and how you relieve stress. Now once that's all in place, it gives you advice for the next day, such as going to bed earlier, and it also shows you how well you're sticking to the plan, as you can see here. Now the next section we've got is the trend section, and essentially this is all of the information that we looked at earlier, but of course it's trended data across longer periods than just a day. You can access this daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly, and we have all the sections to choose from below. So for instance, if you're trying to improve your sleep, you can see how you're doing over the course of days, weeks, months, or even years, and you can also review any notes. Finally, we've got the Me section, and in here you can control data management such as exporting all of the data, or you can even connect to Google Fit. You can adjust settings such as goal settings, add widgets, turn on automatic nap detection and workout detection, as well as configuring the notification settings. You can change things like language and units, as well as setting the first day of the week for you, whether that's going to be something like Sunday or Monday. Now you can go through and see all of the Ring information as well as changing the Ring settings, and if you lose your Ring, you can also help find it by connecting it, and it's going to tell you roughly how far away it is using the Bluetooth. So as you can see, it's a pretty comprehensive set of metrics being recorded there for such a small Ring. And the best thing about it for me is that I just can't wear a smartwatch to bed, which means I miss out on the sleep tracking, whereas with this, it's no bother at all, so I'm able to collect plenty of data. Now the lack of a display also keeps focus on the fitness, as there's no distractions and it's just tracking your health the whole time. And as I said earlier, because it's not chucking notifications at me left, right, and center for everything, it also helps me spend more time enjoying life away from my phone. Now the charging case is also a great touch for holidays and travels, as again, you don't have to worry so much about charging in the power, but with the Ring's excellent battery life of up to 12 days to begin with, it's something I've never really been too concerned about. But for those of you that do worry about it, it even gives you an estimated battery remaining time on the main screen. So overall, I'm really happy with the RingConn Gen 2. When it comes to pros and cons, I mean really on the con list, it's very limited. I can't actually think of anything that I've had wrong with it. If you want some health tracking and would prefer it to be on your finger rather than your wrist, then it does exactly what it's meant to do. Now of course, I've placed a link down in the description below where you can go ahead and purchase the RingConn Gen 2, and it's currently $359, which is a fair price considering all of its feature set. But if you want to spend a little bit less, then you do also have the option of the RingConn Gen 2 Air, and this is made of a titanium steel instead of the aerospace grade titanium. It also lasts up to 12 days of battery instead of the 12, and it also doesn't come with a charging case, and the Air also can't monitor sleep apnea. but it does come in at $199, which makes it a bit cheaper than the RingConn Gen 2, and it's going to be a great choice if you don't need all those extra features. But hopefully I've covered everything in today's video, but of course if there's anything I've missed or you've got any questions at all, then just ask them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech.